Welcome aboard, everyone, to our premiere episode of School Night, our new podcast. I'm Noah Mellis, and my co-host here, Nathan Mackey. So for the first episode, we're going to be talking about our life, more importantly, our current adult lives.
Yeah, it's the
So
only part that matters, really.
yeah, exactly. We actually did do a recording before trying to talk about our childhood and all the way until our adult lives, but it just took way too long. So we thought we'd condense it to just our adult lives, the most important part, like Nathan was saying,
Hmm.
or Nate. Nate, you want to go by Nate, right?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay, Nate.
Nate the Great. That's how it is.
Nate the Great. Yeah. So yeah, Nate here is a good friend of mine, and I always known him as Nathan, so it kind of gets me a little problem to try to call him Nate. So I'll just call him Nate for
Yeah,
the podcast.
and I'll tell you
But
more. I'll tell you more about it when I start talking. But yeah, you'll understand why.
yeah, exactly. So we're gonna talk about that, and also we're gonna be talking about some near-death experiences, which should be fun, and that not only doesn't have to go into like our adult lives, like it could happen in our childhood too, but we're just going to be talking about that in general. Yeah, so I guess I'll go first, and we'll start with 18, because that's basically when you first become an adult, and which is crazy to me because it's like 18 doesn't feel like you're an adult, but legally you are. And when I turned 18, which Nate will back me up on this and agree, we both, well, we're 18 and stuff during COVID times, the quarantine. And yeah, that was fun times. That was fun times
I mean,
indeed.
I was 18 during quarantine.
Well, yeah, that's true. You were 19.
Yeah,
But weren't
19.
like you were just turning 19 though, right? So technically you were still kind of 18
No, I was turning
at the
20.
Oh, that's right. You'd be turning 20. That's right. Holy gee. So I am, yeah, so my adult life then started with quarantine. My good friend Nate didn't have that experience. So, well, he
Lucky
did, but
you.
not as an adult. Not as an adult, right away. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I just got pushed into adulthood, uh, with battling a virus, deadly virus, and being locked away in quarantine in solitude. And but honestly, it wasn't too bad for me because I'm more of like a homebody anyways, and I enjoy just my own time sometimes, and watching shows, playing video games. So it wasn't too much of a change for me. It just kind of made everybody else fall into my world a little bit. Yeah, so it wasn't too bad. At the start, it was like, what, January. I remember I was in a class in high school, and my
It
teacher,
was right after March break when it started COVID. Like
yeah, yeah, but
when we had to get out of school.
yeah, but in January, I remember a teacher of mine was like tracking it, COVID, and it was like, oh, here's where it's at in the world and stuff like that. And honestly, at the time, I didn't think much of it. Was like, oh, it's probably not going to be too big of a deal. But then skip ahead to March, and then our last day of school actually landed on Friday the 13th. And
Damn, that's right. I
yeah,
forgot
and
about
then
that.
yeah, and then at the end of the day, I was part of the musical for our school at the time. We were going to be putting on Sing, the one with the animals and stuff, the koala bear and whatnot. And I was going to be Mike the mouse. And so I was all dressed up as him, had the fancy like suit on, like jacket and with the hat. And we were taking pictures for like the yearbook. And little did I know that that was going to be the very last day of high school for me, which honestly kind of bookmarked high school, like send off in a good way. For me, and then the rest of the time I was enjoying my time off because I did not have to do any classes because I had all my credits, which thank God I did because it would have been a struggle to get through all the work online. I've heard the horror stories. Um, but yeah, if anybody is like around our age or like younger or had to like do like online schooling for high school or anything, leave that down in the comments. I'd be curious to hear what your guys' experience was for that.
I want to
So
hear your horror stories.
yeah, exactly. Let's hear all the juicy details. But now so just yeah, relaxing throughout most of the springtime, and then summer hits. Well, it was like in June, and we had to go back to get our diploma, obviously. But and then that's where they changed everything for the I don't know what you want to call it, the celebration for
Oh,
graduating or
ceremony,
graduation.
ceremony.
Yeah, the ceremony, and they changed the ceremony up because before, I guess I didn't experience it this way, but I've heard it was supposed to be held in the gym. It's usually held in the gymnasium, and it's just like about like 4 hours long with a bunch of people, and it's very dragged out and yada yada yada. But this was very, very quick and to the point, and it was actually, I mean, I liked it. I don't know, we could maybe get Nate's thoughts on this later of what he thought about it, but we had to like pick our like certain groups, so we had to like have a certain slotted time to go to get our diploma, and I went some point in the afternoon, and yeah, it was very quick. I enjoyed it.
Did you
It was to
recognize
the
anybody
point.
there? Like, were you any other friends were there with you, or was it just you by
Yeah,
yourself?
yeah, I did end up going with a little group of friends that Nate knows. But I didn't end up getting to graduate with Nate. He went at a different time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were there talking and stuff and chatting afterwards, and then but it was just very quick. We were all in line. They called us up one at a time. We went up, shook the hand or whatever, or did we shake the hands? I don't even.
Nope. No shaking of hands. COVID.
No, no shaking of hands because of COVID. But yeah, it was sort of like, yeah, there you go, good job. Yeah, we had to like be distanced to get the picture taken, which was
Oh,
funny.
we like
But
it was this weird like picture that they took where it's like you were holding one end of the diploma while our principal was holding the other end, and yet we remained 6 feet apart with our arms spread across, just like holding it between us.
like when we see that picture again, when we see those graduation pictures, that like marked a moment in time right there. Like it'll be like, yep, that was COVID times. Um, but I kind of want to get away from talking about COVID a little bit because I know a lot of people, we've been dealing with that for like years now, and I mean, even though it's still around, it's basically like we got it figured out. We got it on lock a little
Under
bit. So
control. Yeah.
yeah, people are moving on with their lives and just trying to enjoy the life that they have, that they've been blessed to be able to enjoy. So yeah, so after Rona, um, and not the good kind, um, but after that, it was trying to think. I think right afterwards I went straight into college in BCC, and
Brave move. Brave move.
yeah, but it was very different. It wasn't of my religion or whatever, because my I I had a very specific goal or like dream to do in the future, which was to be in entertainment and doing stuff. So for like anybody listening, I also do like magic and stuff, and I like sing and I do impressions on all that stuff. I love to write stories and songs. I just anything that has to do with like telling a story or like entertaining. I love that stuff because I love movies, shows, music, all of it. It was like how is this gonna work, especially like during part of COVID. And honestly, like I was still like trying to figure life out, life skills, and I'm still currently trying to do that as well. So it was a little scary. But then my mom, I don't know if I told you this, but my mom, she was the one who came up with the idea for me to go to college to become an educational assistant
I did not know
because
that.
she thought, I do pretty well at it or whatever. I'm pretty, good with kids. And I get, most importantly though, is for the schedule, because I'm used to the school schedule because I went to school all my life, but also because I get all the same holidays that the kids do.
Mhm.
And that extra time would give me time to do whatever else I want to do regarding entertainment. So if I wanted to try to pursue something, I'd have time to do that, which was a smart idea from my mom. I love her so much, and she gave me a great idea with that. And I went into college, but it wasn't the typical college experience because it was COVID time. So, of course, we were online for all of it, pretty much. There was only one day of the week, which was a Wednesday, that we would go in on campus and be in class, but we'd all have to, wear our masks and yada yada.
What did
But
you do during that day? Was it
we
just
would
like
do
regular
like
classes, but just wore a mask?
sometimes we would do like little presentations on the smart board or like on PowerPoint, present to the class, or we would do like these little fun activities where we would like, or these icebreakers to get to know the class a bit better because we only knew each other from over screens, right? Or like
Mm.
online. And not everybody, a lot of us didn't use our video cameras to go on, only when we absolutely had to. So honestly, I was most of the time I was doing class, the program from my bed. I was just in bed watching the classes and the lectures and stuff. And honestly, this is gonna sound pretty bad, but for some classes though, for some mornings I was really tired, and I was just in bed with my laptop, and I might have dozed off for
I knew where that was going.
a little bit, and woke up and was like, oh shoot, I'm falling asleep. But sometimes the lectures were like so long, they were like 2 hours long of just like talking, and it was like, oh man, I can only take in so much. But everything went well though. I met some cool people from it, and actually, like, I guess jump ahead, spoiler alert, I did end up graduating. It was a fun time, but afterwards I didn't get into it right away. I didn't go work in the schools because, well, there was two reasons. One, like, and I'm getting a little personal here, but one was because I was a little nervous, honestly. Like, my anxiety was kind of like prohibiting me for feeling like I would be good enough as an EA to go and try it, and do it, because I felt like I cheated the system almost, like being that it was online and most of like the tests were like open book, right? So it was like, how much did I actually retain? Like, do I know if I'm gonna know what I'm doing if I, get out working into the schools? And so that kind of prevented me from working right away as well, but also was because I had to look after my nanny, because she got dementia. And anybody listening out there who doesn't know what dementia is, I really hope you guys don't have to experience that with other family members because it's pretty rough. It's a long journey, and she's still going strong, but it's just your brain is not working how it used to. Like certain receptors, like you start to forget a lot of things, and like after a while you start like forgetting, the names of your loved ones and things like that, and how to do basic, life needs. So yeah, I was busy staying up most of the night, every night, helping my grampy look after her. And so that was a big part of me being like 19 at the time, in my adulthood. I was looking after my nanny. And so yeah, and I only worked a week that first year, like later on in the year because of that. and I couldn't. It was hard to do that too, because like sometimes my nan would come into my room like late at night, 3 o'clock, and I had to get up at like 7 to go in for work. I actually the first ever school I ever worked at was our old high school, and but it was tough sometimes, and I was just like, I'm not gonna be able to work the rest of this year if I gotta look after her, and sometimes I'm gonna be up all night and whatnot. It just wasn't gonna be good. Eventually, we came to terms of like this she needs 24/7 care. So then finally, we got her into the hospital, and now she's at a nursing home, it's a very nice place, and she's still there. Right now, she's going strong, but I'll probably maybe talk about that for a future podcast of like certain things like that. But uh, at the end of the day, she's still here, and she's going strong. She's a tough woman. I love her dearly, and a lot of some of my time too. A lot of it is going towards like visiting her and stuff, spending time with her. Uh, with the time that I have left with her. So, yeah, that was a huge part of my adulthood too, because it was just something so new to me and to us, our family, because we never really experienced anything like that. Yeah, we were almost kind of I knew about dementia before, but I was kind of ignorant to it a little bit. And now that we went through the journey with it, again, like I said, I wouldn't wish it on anybody to, have to see their loved ones go through that, because it's tough, but you got to make the best of it. And now currently I am working now though. Like I've been working from the start of this year, September, till now, and I'm at a temp spot right now, a temporary position at a school that I'm really enjoying. I'm with a grade 4 class, and they're really great kids, and I think I'm going to be there for the rest of the year. So currently right now I can't complain. I'm pretty content with where I'm at right now, but hopefully there's still future plans to take the jump, the scary jump of like trying to pursue something in entertainment, because I know it's not going to be easy, but anything that's worth something isn't that easy to
Yeah.
acquire.
If it's worth it, it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, to get it. So I know I just gotta push through, take that jump at some point. Like I said, I'm still like learning life skills and learning how to deal, I guess, with adulthood and how to go about it, and all that fun stuff. But I know for sure at some point I will take the jump, because uh, like I have it in my head that that's what I was meant to do. So if I'm meant to do it, it will happen, and I'll do whatever it takes to get there, to get to where I want to be in the entertainment
Just gotta sell my soul to
world.
the devil, you know.
So, yeah, exactly. I'm no longer Noah Mellis. I'm somebody completely different. But yeah, so that's where I'm at currently with my adulthood. We kind of wrap that all up, and so I'll pass it over to you, Nate. What do you
So,
how has adulthood been treating you?
it has been a mixture of everything. Good, bad, the ugly. It's been the good, bad, and the ugly. I started it when I was 18. I was in high school still. Because I was a year older than most of my friends. Like, I think I was grade
Which
11 when I
which I
was
guess I
18.
forgot about there for a second. Yeah.
Hmm. I was grade
Yeah.
11 when I turned 18. Yeah, so when I turned 18, it was almost like this switch got flicked, because I don't know what it was, because I never did this before, but it was something like implications of breaking the law felt a lot more real and more serious, because now I could be technically charged as an adult. But I was like, I've never broken the law before, so I don't know why it's a lot more scary fact. I don't know. It's just something about the idea. It's like there was like a safety net when you were a minor, and the second you turn
Yeah,
18,
that's
like the safety
true.
net gets ripped away. And it's like, yep, you fall, you're dead.
Yeah, it's true, because it kind of felt like even though like we weren't the type of people really to get into much trouble or be like hoodlums when we were younger, but it's like when you're an adult, you look back and it's like, damn it, like that was the if I were to do anything,
It was the time.
that
We
was the
missed it.
time to do it. because
Mhm.
now if we try to do anything, it's like it could come back and bite us and just ruin our entire lives.
Yeah. But yeah, that kind of felt like a little real. Also, the fact that I could be drafted now. So, if World War III was ever around brewing, we could be drafted. That'd be fun. It'd be a
We're
blast.
going out to the plane.
But I went through that. Then I was 19 when I graduated. It was during the pandemic. The way he remembers it, the way I remember it, are very different. Because my last week, I should say, before going to school, is like there was March break, and then there was the week after March break. I remember. I don't know. I was my goal was to take computer science once I graduated. It was to go and get computer science at a university. I ended up changing my mind after taking computer science like 12 in high school. I was like, this isn't what I want to do with my life. But I already had all my courses selected out, and I was like, well, I'm taking advanced maths, pre-calc A, B, physics 12, all this advanced stuff that I need for computer science, which I was no longer taking. I no longer wanted to take. And I'm sitting there after the next week after March break, and I was so overworked and overwhelmed from the last year, and then from the rest of this current year happening. I burned out, and I was like, fuck this, I'm not going to school. And I just kind of stayed home for that week, that first week of back to school. And honestly, I think COVID kind of saved me. I think COVID kind of saved me because I missed tons of like tests I had to take and stuff like that. I was like, oh, I'll figure it out. But school was canceled for the next 2 weeks, and I was sitting there. I thought it was only gonna be 2 weeks because I didn't know, and I was like, I wonder what I'm gonna do when I get back. I'll have to figure it out somehow. Nope, school permanently canceled. I'm like, oh, okay, don't gotta figure out shit. Fine by me. And there's another thing to bring up quickly before I move past it. Noah mentioned how there was a teacher of his that was keeping track of the COVID before it became like really widespread. The teacher he's referring to, I'm pretty sure, was Mr. Fowler, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, he
We
was.
had the same teacher. Yeah.
Yeah, I was taking world issues, so it kind of fell into world issues COVID. So it was a little ironic because we watched it live. I would start from like a handful of people
As
to
yeah.
100 to 1,000 to 10,000, and we watched it spread. Like we every day we went into
Yeah.
class for world issues. It was more and more and more.
Yeah, as it was happening. Yeah, he
Hmm.
did that for us too. In not world issues, it was for theater arts. So surprise, surprise. But um yeah, but it was crazy to go into class like you said each day and just see how much it spread. And that's what he said. He's like, "Oh, look at that." He's like, "It soon it'll probably be coming to our doorstep." And sure enough, it did.
I remember when there was one day, it was at like 1,000 when we left, and we came back the next day. It was at like 10,000. I was like, wow, it jumped up 9,000 people.
Crazy
As
jump.
that in one day it jumped up that much. That was nuts. But moving on from that, so COVID hit, school got canceled. I was home, and I missed. I already had all my requirements to graduate, so I was like, I'm not gonna do anything. Screw this. I'm just gonna live my life here as I wait out COVID for the time being. And you were actually somewhat wrong when you said how people who didn't have the requirements had to do online classes. They actually gave those grades away to people for the grade 12 students at least.
Yeah, I forgot you were telling me that.
Yeah,
And I was like,
because
"What?" So they just
the
didn't have to do
nope, because we
anything? Like, they didn't have to do
to
English?
graduate you need like 12 English. It's like the last requirement you need to graduate.
Right.
It's like get to pass grade 12 English. And two of our friends who were supposed to take it in the second year ended up not taking it because COVID hit, and they just never had to take it. They got the marks for free. They got the
And they
credit for
still
free.
ended up graduating. Yeah.
Yep. And I was like, that's a little bullshit, but okay. So
Yeah.
did
English, if it was math, I would have been like, lucky bastards. But English, I didn't mind English. It
I
was more
mind
my strong suit.
it wasn't my strong
I
suit.
know it.
If
I know
I'll
it's
guess
not.
I'll clarify this now for the viewers. I do
Yeah.
have dyslexia. I've been
Mm-hmm.
diagnosed as a child and as an adult by a psychologist. I got diagnosed as an
Yeah,
adult so I could get free money from my government. You get like free grants from your government if you have a learning disability when you go to college or school of any kind. I was like, I'll take free money.
yeah. I don't think I knew that. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, I get like a few. I think I get like 2,000 free dollars. Like I get
Nice,
$2,000 for free just to buy. It's
nice.
to mainly help me buy like essential like technology that helps me do my schoolwork.
Right.
So
Try to make it easier for you.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what me and Nate were kind of the opposite on that. It's like I'm stronger, I feel like, with English,
better
and
with
he's not,
numbers.
and he's stronger with math, and I'm not. My brain can't do numbers.
Graduated, went into COVID. Like he mentioned it as well. It was like people were freaking out being quarantined, stuck inside. I was fine. Nothing bothered me. It's like this is what I would be doing. If there wasn't COVID and I had all this free time, this right here is what I would be doing anyway. Spending it inside gaming with my friends. So I had no complaints. I mean, I would have liked to go out a few times, like the offline board game cafe and the movies every once in a while. But
Yeah,
I
that
was
would have
pretty
been.
I was pretty content
Was the
with
was the board
everything.
game cafe even a thing then?
I don't think it was. I think it started to become a
No.
thing a little bit later on. But like I was using that as an
Yeah,
example.
yeah. That's what. Yeah, I get that though. Wanting to get it just to get some fresh air, you know.
Yeah, just to get out of the house.
The
But
masks, the masks, they're
oh my
terrible.
god, I don't miss those.
No.
But after that, after finally that was done, the first year of COVID, I worked. I was like, I don't want to deal with going to school during COVID. It's gonna be too much. All of it, it's too much online. I hate taking classes, online classes. It's so annoying. I had a little bit of an experience with that when I was going in high school because grade my 12 computer programming course could only be taught online because no one at our school was able to teach it. So I had to take it. I had to get a teacher from outside of our school district to teach it. So I had to go through online and do that, and I hated it. Hated it so much. It was pretty much like I was teaching myself. It didn't feel like I was being taught. It just felt like I was teaching myself, and then being graded on how well I taught myself. So that's why I have a bad experience with online learning. But so I just worked the first year. My first job, I worked at EB Games, and then I worked as a security guard, and then I worked at Best Buy as a Geek Squad agent, and then after that, I took a summer program. During this, I was try after. I think it was after. Was it after Best Buy? No, it was before Best Buy. I tried to go. I was gonna take electrical engineering in school. I take college course on electrical engineering. And as I was in taking the first week of like orientation, I was in there learning what we were gonna do. I'm like, this isn't what I want to do. I don't want to do this. Screw this. So I backed out before I had to pay any tuition. Got lucky there, and I was like, I'm not gonna. I don't want to do this. I'm gonna take another year and try to figure out what I want to do with my life. During that time, I worked at Best Buy as a Geek Squad agent, and then I saw there was this summer program for like media studies. I think it was. It was like media learning, something like that. It was something to do with media, entertainment, and stuff. I was like, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I'd love to do that. And it was like pretty much like it was a summer program where they taught you and also paid you to learn. Like, oh, hell yeah, I'll do that. So I took it, and there was a lot of stuff that I was already loved doing, like making videos, editing videos, uh, Photoshop, just tons of different things that was like creating stuff, making stuff, a lot of stuff that I already love doing as like a hobby. So I was like, this is great. I'm learning more and I'm getting paid for it. And at the end of that, you have any questions about that?
No, I think that's pretty straightforward. I was gonna comment on like it's a good thing that you figured out though. Like you were like, oh, beforehand you were like, I
Mm,
didn't want to do right. That
yeah.
like you figured it out right then and there before you wasted any,
Money, a lot of money. It would have been. It
money,
would
money and time, right?
have. Yeah.
So it was, but now you're doing something that you
I hope we get there.
really
We'll get there. Don't Let's not jump the gun yet. We'll get to that part.
well. we're not gonna jinx it. Let's say that one.
Well, hold on. I'm still doing it. I mean, in the story, I'll get to that part of the
Yeah,
story.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I won't
Go
spoil
for
it.
it. I'm not
So
spoiling anything. My lips are sealed.
at the end of summer, the summer program, they had placement jobs for all the people that took it, and I got placed in one of the better placement jobs, which was I worked as a video editor because video editing was like my strong suit because I was self-taught on my video editing skills. I've been video editing since I was 14, and during that whole time, I was all self-taught. No one taught me anything about video editing. It was all just watching videos, experimenting, doing whatever you need to do to learn about it, you know? And I learned a bunch more when I was during the summer program, but a lot of it came from my like 7 years of knowledge at that point because I was 21. So I did that, and then I got my placement job, which was a video editor for Brilliant Labs, which is a non-profit charity. This work gets really interesting. This is the fun part. This is where my life kind of turned upside down completely.
Yeah.
So I was gonna be content. Like if I was able to stay working there that entire time, or just get a video editing job for like any company, I'm like I'd be fine with this because I enjoy video editing, and it's my most important thing for a job is I have to be allowed to be creative in it in some capacity. If I can be creative in my job, then I'll enjoy the job no matter what. So I did that for about a month. At the end of September, there was one day because we were supposed to like at Brilliant Labs we were allowed to like work from home and come in work from home. At the at some point we were like starting a project, so he wanted us to come in more and not work from home. So he actually asked us to come in one day. I was supposed to be home that day working from home, but he asked us to come in, and I was like, okay, yeah, we'll come in. I'll come in. I mean, because he's one of my friends who we. That's a whole different story. I'll quickly tell that. So there was this guy I met at Best Buy who taught me, trained me, I guess, as a Geek Squad agent. I eventually left being a Geek Squad agent because I got the COVID hit. I think there was like the second or third wave of COVID hit, so I got let go because they needed less staff. During that time, that's when I found that. Went to the summer program, and there that same guy was who taught me how to be a Geek Squad agent was also taking that program. And I was like, hey, what's going on? So we were already friends as like we were work friends, but after that we kind of became like actual friends because like oh somehow like it was like the definition of a small world. Somehow we ended up taking the same thing. And then after that, this is where I don't know what was going on here. After we were in that summer program, we actually got placed at the same job. We both worked at Brilliant Labs, so
Yeah, that's cool.
that was nuts. Somehow we went from the Geek Squad agents summer program to same job after summer program.
Fate. It was fate.
hmm So me and him just kind of like we worked together. We were chilling. He was we were coming in that day. Day we weren't supposed to come in, but our boss asked us to come in that day because we were working on a project and stuff. So came in, everything was normal. Everything felt like a normal day. Where I worked away, did my job, did what I need to do, packed up, left, got on my bus, left. Everything felt completely normal. Got on my bus, got off the bus, started going home. And while I was in a crosswalk, on my way home, there was a car far down the road that I could see. That was like a pretty far down the road car. I was like, I should be fine. It's like a straight shot, so I could see the car perfectly clear on a bright sunny day with barely any clouds in the sky. So I was like, oh, I could see the car. The car should be able to see me. I'm wearing red. That's like one of the most noticeable colors on humans. So I was pretty obvious where I was. I started crossing the crosswalk, and the car just got closer. Even if the car just slowed down, I would have made it, but it just turned. Not sure if the person was on their phone texting or talking to someone. I don't know. They just turned and hit me, sent me flying through the air, landing on my left shoulder, giving me a bad road rash my arm, and breaking my left collarbone. And I found out at the hospital that both bones of my right leg were shattered from the car impacting me. So that is when my life kind of got thrown up into shambles. Everything that I had planned was thrown out the window. Yeah, so the next week was rough. I spent the next week in the hospital. Had to get surgery. My right leg's mainly made out of metal now. That was a blast. Had to relearn how to walk. Spent the next 3 months in bed because I couldn't put any weight in my leg. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just watch movies. And at the time, I was actually like really depressed, so I didn't feel like playing video games during that time. So like the thing that I would usually turn to that would cheer me up, which was video games, I was just too depressed to want to play them. So I was just kind of stuck in this rut where I was just watching shows and movies for 3 months straight, pretty much. I eventually started playing them again, but it wasn't until on the third month of being bedridden. But going through that, and then I spent the next 8 months doing physical therapy to relearn how to walk. That was really fun. Lots of fun. That I had to take get like a massage therapist when I was there. I swear, the pain that I had to go through with that massage therapist felt almost as bad as breaking my leg. After that, I finally was done my physical therapy. During that time, I was signing up to go to a college in a different city. Finished my physical therapy. A couple days later, after finishing my last physical therapy, I had everything I needed packed up, moved to the city a month ahead before school started. The city I was going to do my college in animation and graphics, which I'm currently doing today. I've been here ever since. That has been me. I've been doing that. Animation and graphics, living life here, just doing college. Nearly died to get here, but I got here.
You made it.
Yep. You have any comments
Life.
on anything about that?
It was just, it was crazy. And actually, at the time, I found out because I was actually at the hospital at the time, visiting my nan. My nanny was still at the hospital, and I went on my phone and I saw that you had posted on your story, and it was like, just got hit by a car.
Yeah.
It was like, not just casual, nothing.
It
Just
was a picture of me, like my hair was like messed up as hell. It was a picture of me in like the hospital bed, shirtless because they had to cut all my clothes off, which I was really sore about because I had a good pair of underwear on. They had to cut off. It was an expensive pair of underwear, man, and they had to cut it off.
that's
Like you can't just leave. Can't just like I'll deal with the pain. Just move. They take like we can take it off. They don't have to cut it off. Oh, I
right.
hate that.
Get off. They just didn't want to bother with all the work around trying to move you and stuff, and
I
trying to
mean, yeah, I get it. You know,
help
they
you.
pretty much cut me out of my clothes completely. Shirt was gone.
Yeah.
Cut my jeans off.
Yeah.
Can't remember. I can't. I think they just took off my belt. I don't think they had to cut that off. I think they just took it off. Because I still
Yeah,
have
I
the
mean,
belt.
why?
So yeah, I think they just took
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Why would they have to cut the belt? The belt can come off fairly easy. Just
Yeah.
pull that through. But then, yeah, it's the others that take a little bit more like acrobatics to try to get it off. But
Mm.
so I get it. But yeah, I'd be pissed too. I'd be like, no, my favorite pair of
They,
underwear.
they cut my right
Uh,
sock off. This was funny because I thought about this too. They cut my right sock off, but not my left one. The left one they just took off naturally. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do with one sock?
okay.
Because they gave the
uh,
sock back to me in my hospital bag when I was leaving. I'm like, what am I supposed to
right.
do with this?
It's like, here, take your one sock back.
I
It's
ended
like,
up
huh?
just when I got home, I just took the one sock and I looked for like a worser pair, which one had like a worse partner. Took that worse partner, threw in the trash, and gave it the new one.
Yeah, but that's what, yeah, but when I was at the hospital, and you were just like, oh, yeah, yeah,
Yep, just got
I
hit by a
got you,
car.
just got hit by a car, at the hospital, so I remember messaging you like, holy shit, man, like, where are you at? I was leaving at the time, but I was thinking, because I was gonna be there, like, the next day anyways, to
Mm.
see Nate at the hospital. I was just like, what, holy fuck, like, are you okay? Like, what room are you at? And then I went to go visit you in the hospital.
I think that was like
Uh,
I had that. I think that was a couple days later. because
Yeah, it was a couple
I
days
was
later.
in the first day I was in the ER, and then I got put into a waiting room because I had to wait. Oh my god, I didn't even talk about this. This was hell. I had to wait for surgery, so I had was it during my I had because I had to get surgery, so I need to. Oh well, I'm skipping ahead. So they had to put a temporary cast in my right leg, a temporary cast. So they gave me they couldn't give me anesthesia because it was gonna hurt so much. So they had to like knock me out, but do it like within a way that I would be okay. So they gave me
Right.
ketamine,
Yeah.
which is on the streets known as Special K. Some people call it, but it's like this is a drug that people use to get high off of. Holy shit! This drug destroyed me. I'm not sure, maybe it was just I had a bad reaction to it, or maybe my body was like no, or it was too much, but like I got it. I remember just laying there and like the nurse was like, okay, I'm gonna like this is gonna hit you pretty fast because we need to like make sure like it gets right into your system. So like they inject it into my IV and then they squeeze the IV. I'm like, okay, here we go. And it was like I was there 1 second and then I was gone the next. And then it felt like I was hallucinating. I don't know. It was a trip and a half. I ended up like throwing up during it, and I didn't even realize until afterwards. Like I kind of like came to at some point, and like they were done. Like everyone was packed away and gone. I'm like, where'd everybody go? It didn't feel like that long. Apparently, it'd been like 2 hours. It has been 2 hours, and I did. It only felt like a couple minutes to me.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, well, what happened? Everything good? And it's like, yeah. And I remember thinking, looking down at myself, I'm like, did I throw up? And they were like, yeah. I was like, ah. What was so weird about being on this drug too is like it turned off the filter between like your thoughts and what you say. Because you usually
Yeah.
think about what you're gonna say before you say it. It was like they turned that off, and anything I thought, I just said out loud. Anything I thought, just said out loud.
Yeah. That's
I even
scary.
I even thought about how crazy it was that everything I was thinking was saying out loud, and I said that out loud.
Yeah.
It was like it was
Yeah,
a
it's
weird trippy thing.
just like you couldn't control yourself.
hmm And
Yeah.
after that, was it yeah, they put me in a waiting room for my surgery, and I was in there for the next 3 days because my surgery, I'm not sure if it was they had the surgeon was busy, or if they didn't have the room for it, or if there was kept emergency surgeries kept coming in that needed emergency surgery at that point. I don't know, but and during those 3 days, I couldn't eat or drink anything because the surgery could happen at any moment, right? You can't eat 12 hours, eat or drink 12 hours before a surgery.
Yeah.
So I went 3 days without food and water. I had an IV, but my mouth was like the Sahara Desert. Went 3 days without food or water. I didn't understand what hunger truly was. Once you go 3 days without food, you'll understand what hunger truly is.
I can
It
imagine.
makes me understand a little bit more what people feel when they go like a week, 2 weeks without food. Like I understand now why you acted the way you did.
Yeah.
Makes you a little crazy.
Yeah, it makes you a little upset, and right, because it's like you're not getting your energy
I was
from
constantly
anywhere.
angry.
Yeah. I would be too, anybody would. We need food to survive. And if we don't get it for a week,
Mhm.
our body's screaming like, "What are you doing to us?"
You want to know the first
Yup.
thing I ate? The first thing I ate after my surgery,
What?
because my I think it was my dad. Yeah, my dad, because they were gonna come visit me after my surgery, and he was like, "What do you want? What do you want to eat after your surgery? Because this would be the first thing I'd eat." Want to know what I asked for?
Yeah.
A baconator from
What?
Wendy's.
Oh, nice.
The first thing I
And
ate.
was that the best baconator you ever ate?
Well, it was a little. I think I should have gone something a little lighter because I ate it and I ended up not feeling the best afterwards. Maybe my stomach wasn't like ready to eat something that heavy after three
Right.
days of nothing.
Yeah.
So I ate like half of it, then I put it down. I ate the rest later, but I only ate half of it beginning.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Getting something in there.
hmm
Anything else you'd like to add?
I think I'm all good to go. I made it to school. Loving what I'm doing so far right now in school. This is definitely the career path I want to go down. I'm really excited for that. Some type of, so I'm taking animation and graphics, so I could go down like some type of graphics career. I could even go into animation if I wanted to, but that's not really my goal is to get into animation. That's not really my goal. If there's like a cool opportunity in animation I could do, then I might take it. But my goal is to like work with video games. I'd love to work with video games day in, day out. Oh, that'd be amazing.
Right. Yeah, you love your video games.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Video
it.
games are my life.
Yeah, they're a big
Oh,
part of my
and I
life.
guess this is different because I got this. I didn't have this before. We tried to record this episode for the first time. I have a new tattoo. That's another thing that's new.
That's right, that is.
Yeah, I got a new
Not-
tattoo. You guys can Google what the actually should I could just put a picture up. Yeah, I'll just add a picture and when I edit this, it's a picture of the Reaper Leviathan. Here it is. Yep, that's what it looks like. I got that thing wrapped kind of like wrapped around my left arm because he's like long enough that he pretty much wraps around. Got that tattooed on me a couple days ago. Still pretty fresh. Holy fuck, did it hurt? I've been through a lot of pain this past couple of years. Me and pain have become good acquaintances. Um,
Yeah, old Nate here's a tough cookie.
mhm. And there were some parts when he was doing my tattoo that I didn't feel anything. If on anything, it felt kind of pleasant, you know. It's like it's not that bad. It's nice. But then when he got to my underarm, the part underneath your arm that's soft, delicate, hurts when people like do anything to it. Yeah, he got to that. That was a different beast. That sucked so bad.
Yeah,
I
I
would
could imagine.
it brought me right back to when I was in the massage therapist chair and he was like digging into my leg, trying to like get the what did he call it? There's a name for it. I forget the name now. Tissue, something scar tissue. He was trying to like loosen up the scar tissue, so he
Yeah.
has to dig really deep and it hurts like a bitch. He did cupping
Yeah.
and that hurt like a bitch. But yeah, it brought me back to that moment when he was working on my underarm, and I hated that. It sucked so bad. If you ever want to get a tattoo, do not do it on any delicate place. Make sure you do it on some place that's a little more tough. He says the reason
Everywhere.
that he actually told me the reason why it's like that when I was talking to him about it. He said it's because that part of the skin doesn't get a lot of sun.
Okay.
That part of the skin gets like little sun contact, so it's a lot more rough there. It's a lot more
Huh.
delicate there, not rough.
Right. Huh. Interesting.
Do you
Didn't know that.
want to quickly? We can just let's quickly go through our life and death experiences. You know, I already kind
Yeah,
of
let's go
I
through.
already told my major one, so all my other ones are kind of like smaller ones.
Yeah, let's do that real quick. And yeah, I want to hop back like through while you were talking about like some of the different jobs that you're doing. Before, like I worked as an EA, I was also like doing a couple of gigs with magic and
Oh
stuff. And
yeah, I
I
was
was
gonna say
doing,
I don't recall you working any other jobs. I forgot about
I
that.
was
Yeah.
doing I was doing like a show. It was called the Fringe Festival here. It was a fun time with my magic. I'm part of like a magic club with a lot of other really talented magicians, and yeah, we're all good friends. I met a few of my real close friends from there. We get along great, and actually, one of my uh, magic buddies, he's going into school. He is in university right now, Mount A, uh, for like programming, like computer programming and stuff like that. And he loves that stuff as well. So it's like if he wanted to, he probably could create a game. He has made like a couple like small little games, and actually, I think this is the first year hearing about this. But he wanted me to be a part of one of his little projects that he was doing to maybe do some like voice acting for it. And but we haven't gotten around to doing that yet because he kind of got behind on schedule because he's just been flooded with a lot of like schoolwork and assignments and stuff like that. So, but he's almost done too. I think either this, I forget if he said this was his last year or like next year is his last year and that's it. So he's getting close to finishing and he's loving what he's doing as well. But yeah, he was like almost like a little bit of an inspiration for me too, because he did a lot of like magic shows and he's really good at like presenting magic. He's a great performer. And but yeah, so we did that together at the Fringe Festival. We didn't do it together. We had ideas of doing like a duo act, magic act, but sort of like Penn and Teller, but we couldn't get around doing that either because he was very busy with school. And but so we did our own acts, but it was still fun to do it with everybody and with him and stuff. So yeah, that was a fun time and we got paid for it. It was a paid gig and stuff. So yeah, it was all fun. It feels so great making a little bit of money from magic because I've been doing magic ever since I was a little kid. So that's also another goal for my future adulthood. My later on in life is get more. Hopefully this year, be getting more gigs for magic and might be performing at the Fringe Festival again with my club. So that'll be fun times. But I'll talk more about magic another time on another podcast. But moving on from that, kind of balancing, like it kind of goes hand in hand with like the near death experiences. Like for some magic tricks, like you can make it look as if you're doing something near death, like you're tempting death. But so that's kind of cool. But this is actually like near death experiences. I'll start with the little ones first, and then I'll end off with my big one where it was very scary. But one time I was like in a pool. It wasn't too bad though, but it was like I I got tossed like into I think the deeper end of a pool, and I couldn't really. I don't know how to swim, so I was like trying my
Started
best to come.
drowning.
I think yeah, a little bit. I was kind of like nervous, but it didn't last too long, so it wasn't like too big of a like a. But I definitely got panicked a little bit, and then
Were you able
I
to
ended
stay
up
above
coming back up,
water?
and I was like, No, I was fully underneath.
Man, you were drowning. That's drowning, Noah. You were
So I
drowning.
know I was drowning a little bit, but it wasn't
There's
it
no little
wasn't
bit
like I
about it.
was
You were under
it
the water and you couldn't get back up. You were drowning.
it was I wasn't under for I was
Didn't
under
matter
for like
any length of
a
time.
split
You were
minute. Yeah, I
technically
know, I know.
considerably
So I
drowning.
was I was drowning a little bit for a short period of time.
It's
And
like
but
if someone gets stabbed and it's like, I was only stabbed a little bit. It's like just because they
yeah,
only put the knife
still
halfway
stabbed.
in doesn't
Still
mean you weren't
stabbed.
stabbed.
Yeah. So I was drowning, but not for long is what I'm trying to get to. So that was kind of scary. Panicked me. There was another point where this was my second experience with choking, and but I'm saving the first time for my last because that was the one that was really scary. Um, but it was like something like it felt like it was getting stuck, and I was like, oh, I panicked a little bit, but I ended up was able to like push it down, like swallow it fully. It just got stuck for a second, and then I was like, which panicked me, and but then I ended up swallowing it again. So I was like, okay, good, good, good. But my like big near death experience where it was like I almost died was I was sucking on one of those old like mints,
Misses.
those hard mints.
What were they?
Hmm?
Sorry.
Those like hard mints.
They like pink.
Yeah,
Okay, I know which ones you're talking about. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
my,
yeah,
my
yeah. Like the
grandmother always had
peppermint.
those.
Yeah, so did my great grandmother. I was actually at my great grandmother's house, and it was just literally down uh the street from us. It was like the first house coming up the road to get to my grandparents, and it was like right there. And so I was down there. I was like watching whatever at the time because I was only young. I was like 5 or something. I was like watching Tupi and Bino, I think, was on. You remember that show?
Hmm.
Yeah, I was watching that show. I was having a good time. I was like sitting in my great um my great grandfather. We called him Papa Ernie, and he was gone at this time. He was passed away, but I was sitting in his chair. The mint jar was right beside me, and I was like, took a mint. I would do it all the time, so I didn't think twice about it. But all of a sudden, it must have been the way I was sitting, the way I was like, you know, sucking on the mint, but it just slipped right down into my throat and immediately blocked off my air supply.
Oh,
And I couldn't breathe. Like immediately, I knew it happened because I couldn't breathe anymore. And I was like, uh-oh. So then I started panicking. So then I got up, and my great grandmother, Nanny Marie, she was in the kitchen and she was on the phone with one of her friends, and I was trying to get her attention, and I was like banging on her legs with my hands, and I was like, because I couldn't talk, because I couldn't breathe.
mm.
But at the time, I was just in like panic mode. I was just trying to get her attention. I don't think I motioned like the choking motion, because I was just trying to get her attention, and she was like, oh, something. She was talking with a friend. She's like, no, I don't think he's bleeding. And I was like, no, I'm not bleeding. I'm choking.
I'm dying right in
And
front of
she was,
you.
yeah, and I was like, get off the phone now, please. I'm gonna die. And then she was like, okay, I'm gonna have to let you go. And she's like, I think something's wrong here. Let me check. Anyways, finally she like got behind me and was like doing the Heimlich
I want to know
maneuver on
when
me.
did she realize you were choking?
After she got off the phone, I think she
What was she?
just
Who was she
turned
like?
me.
What's wrong? And you were like, they're turning blue. It's like, oh shit, you're choking.
Yeah, I think she just kind of clicked in after she got off the phone and could see what was going on, and then she just twisted me around and like started like doing the Heimlich maneuver on me, like really pushing up on my like rib cage and stuff, trying to, and it did it. Boom! She got it right up. It popped like, phew, it shot right out of my mouth, um, across the room, and and then I was gasping for air. I was just as soon as I could get air, I was like I was like choking. I was God, I was like gasping for air, and I was obviously crying because I
Yeah,
was like
I don't blame you. I think I'd cry too.
I almost died. I mean, like another minute or more, like I probably would have passed out
And then
and
after
I would
that,
have died.
you would have probably would have been too long after that if they didn't get it out. I mean, they might have had to start CPRing you. It's a lot of different things, a lot of different ifs and maybes,
But that's so I
which is
was
a
like,
scary thing.
so I think, like, and then my grampy comes down from the house, and he's got something in his hand, and it's a popsicle. And I'm like, at the time, I'm like I appreciated it because I knew he was trying to comfort me, but at the same time, I was like, I didn't really feel like putting anything else in my mouth at that point
Yeah,
right away, because I was just like, I don't want to eat the popsicle. What if it happens again? Like, I don't want to do that right now. I'm like,
I don't
just
think I've any seen anyone
let me,
choking a popsicle before.
let me just. I mean, it could be. You never know.
I
It could
mean, what?
happen.
The second it gets to your throat, it'd start shrinking immediately because your throat's warm.
Yeah,
The popsicle cold, melt,
it would start melting, yeah.
and then
But
it would
at the
get wet
time,
and slippery and slide down the hole.
yeah, but at the same time, I just went through that, so I was like, no, I just don't want anything, right? But I eventually did end up having the popsicle, but I was like, I was bawling, and yeah, thank God my great grandmother was there, Nanny Marie. She passed away too, but I was like, if it wasn't for her, I'd be dead. She saved my life. And so yeah, I must be here for some reason or other, because if I wasn't, I would have died at that moment at 5 years old. Um, but yeah, it was that was probably the scariest near-death experience that I had so far. Hopefully, I don't have any other anytime soon. But like, that was it, and it really scared me, and it yeah, because it just immediately, it was so quick how, like, it just cut my air supply off so quickly. It was just, I couldn't breathe anymore. It was like, for a second, I could breathe, and then boom, the next, I couldn't. And I was like,
You remind me of a story as well when you talked about that.
wow. Yeah, go ahead, you tell it if you
I
want
actually
to.
have quite a few near-death experiences compared to Noah. So
Yeah.
I'll start with my, I guess, my oldest one, but it was like when I was the youngest. I think I was like 6 or 7. I was 6. I'm not sure this counts as a near-death experience, but maybe it would have been if like a different thing happened. So I was a 6. I was pretty short. I couldn't reach the light switch, so I had to stand on like this kind of like siding on like the bottom of the wall. There's like a little almost like framing. I'm not sure what it's properly called, like fringing or whatever. I can't remember that. That little kind of decoration at the bottom of the wall. I was standing on that to reach the light switch. The thing managed to come loose. I fell. Turned off the light switch. Fell right onto my butt. Uh, Parents heard me. Didn't want to know what's going on. Sent my brother to come check me out, and he turned on the light at the bottom of the stairs, and that's when I could see it. There was a nail, like a giant nail, about the length of like someone, like maybe someone's, depending on someone's middle finger, about that length. It was like a long ass nail that went straight through my foot. Had plenty of room above my foot. Was say it was decently thick. Maybe like a quarter-inch thick. It's hard to recall that, but it went straight through my foot. I got lucky because then my parents had rushed me to the hospital. They took the nail out there in the hallway, which they said later was a dumb idea, but they were panicking. Took me to the hospital, got stitches. The doctors there said I got extremely lucky. It missed my bones, my tendons, and my veins. Missed everything important, just went through muscle. Also, I never felt it because I never. It was like this weird thing that happened because I never felt the nail go in because I didn't see it, so my brain didn't process it. It's weird how your brain works. It needs to see the thing to know that it hurts, or it needs to like really do something for it to hurt. To understand that it's hurting. But yeah, that could have been like I had to get a tetanus shot. That could have been a near-death experience. Maybe if it hit a vein or something and I started bleeding profusely. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. A lot of ifs. My next one
It
was
could have.
definitely a near-death one. But what was that?
I said it could have turned into
Mhm.
something worse, but yeah,
My
go on.
next one was a drowning situation, just like Noah's.
Mm,
I was 7, didn't know how to swim. I was walking in this kind of rocky little pond, nah, not a pond, rocky little watering hole. Yeah, I think that's a better example. Rocky little watering hole. I didn't realize this, but in like the center of the watering hole, there was just a giant drop. So I'm walking along, 'cause it's like up to my knees. I'm like this, thinking like this is fun. It's a nice sunny day during summer. My mom's over there lounging on like the side of the shore, like getting sun. My brothers found this kind of makeshift raft that someone made. He's just busy playing on that. I'm walking in the water, and then I take one step, and I just drop straight down. It was that like, that moment was so terrifying because I didn't know how to swim, so I'm trying to swim up. I'm panicking, freaking out. I can't get up. I was like under the water for like a minute or two, somewhere between a minute or two. My brother, I don't know what was happening up top. My brother eventually came over to me on the raft, reached down, grabbed me, and pulled me up. And I came up and I started just coughing up water. Yeah,
wow.
that was a fun one. Nearly
I didn't know
drowned.
about that.
I
Yeah,
thought I
that's worse
told you
than
about that
mine.
story.
I don't. Did you? I don't think.
I thought I did.
Think this.
I told you about that already.
No, no. I
Cause
think that's
I
worse than my drowning, though.
yeah, cause I think I told you about it, and then you remembered yours. If I recall.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I think you told about the nail, and that's how I remembered.
Mm. But
But
after
yeah,
that,
that's worse than mine.
mhm, it wasn't fun. Um,
No.
After that, there was That wouldn't count as near death. Just really hurt. I got a car door slammed in my fingers. When I pulled my fingers out because they couldn't open the car door, and like ripped my skin on my fingers off. So that was fun. Um, what after that? What's after that?
Or phalanges.
I think uh, I think the only thing left would be my car accident when I got hit by a car.
Yeah,
There's
that's the
there's not
main one.
there's
That's
not
the
a
big one.
name for a person being hit by a car. Like when you say car accident, you think two cars, right? Got into an accident,
Right.
or one car
Yeah.
got into an accident by itself.
Yeah.
When I
Well,
say
and it
car
wasn't
accident,
even
you never think, oh, that a car hit a person.
a hit and run though. It was a hit and stay, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
The person who hit you got out of their car and was like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So at least they did that. And you
I
said it was
class
a woman, right?
It was a woman. Yeah. Damn
Yeah.
women drivers, those bastards. But I think that one was definitely it could have been a near death experience, mainly because when I got hit, I got lucky to a certain degree because my backpack wrapped around my head and cushioned it, so my head never hit anything hard. My backpack wrapped around it and cushioned it from being able to hit anything, so that was nice.
Yeah. Well, because even if you did survive it, like hitting your head, that's a fragile place to
Mm-hmm.
be damaged. Like that could have caused like a lot of problems in the future. You might not have ever been the same afterwards if your head did get hit.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like
But
those are my close calls to death. My closest one would, I guess, it would have been on situation based. My closest one would have been the car one because like that all it would have taken was me landing wrong. And I'd say my more obvious one would have been my drowning one. That would definitely be the really closest one because I was straight up drowning.
my big one was
Nearly choking to death.
the
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. The one I was gonna tell you. This one wasn't too
yeah,
close because it wasn't as bad as Noah's. This one's like a very minor one compared. I was in school, in middle school actually. I think it was grade 6. This is before we knew each other. It was like me, some of our friends nowadays. We were all chilling at the table, eating lunch. Cameron was there. He's an important person in the story. I was sitting there eating an
okay.
apple, and someone told a joke, and I laughed. Well, I had the apple still in my mouth, like a piece of it,
Right.
which then lodged into my throat. And then right
Yeah.
there, I just immediately my eyes shot up. I stood up, and I'm sitting there trying to like cough it up. And then luckily Cameron kind of comes up behind me, and I can't remember if he started doing the Heimlich maneuver, or he like hit me a good hard hit on the back. I think he did like a really hard hit on the back first, and then I coughed it up. I think that's what happened. I'm not sure if he did actually have to do the Heimlich maneuver on me.
Nice.
Yeah,
So he saved your life.
kind of did. Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy because that's what he's going to school now for.
Really? What's he
Becoming
doing?
like a medic.
Oh,
Like one of
damn.
those like yeah,
EMT.
yeah.
Yeah, I talked to those guys after I got in
So
the ambulance, getting after they get hit by the car. Those guys are pretty chill, you know. I was just joking
yeah,
around with them while they were driving me to the hospital.
I feel like that would be a fitting job for him
I
because
agree. I think that
Cam
fits them very well.
Cam's pretty social, pretty down to earth, chill, and it was either that or I remember him always saying as a kid that he really wanted to be like a cop, police
I remember
officer,
that too. Yeah.
which I think would fit him as well.
EMT, I think fits them a lot better though.
Yeah, I do think that too.
Um,
Yeah, so that's awesome. See, the
yeah,
friends save our lives.
one more thing I want to talk about. Um,
Yeah, go for it. We got
what
a
was
little
it?
bit of time left. Go for
Yeah,
it.
we have a little bit some time left. What was it? Was fuck, I forgot what it was now. Damn it! This is your fault,
Ah,
Noah.
shit.
Oh, my brain
Well,
it blanked completely. It was
give it
about something.
give it a give it a few more minutes, okay? You
Hmm.
just think about it, and I will I'll kind of start maybe the outro just a little bit. I'll hand it over to you, and so you can finish it off. But if you don't think of it by that time, then we'll just save it for another time.
If I can remember it.
Yeah, another rainy day. Your brain was just like, nope, you're not talking about that today. Is gone. Is gone. Okay, so yeah, I think basically that's
Oh, I
like
remembered.
every.
I remembered.
Oh, there we go. See,
Uh,
there we go. Okay, back to you, Nate.
as you're doing the outro, I remembered. So this made me remember. Think about like how people act in like intense situations, and I
Mhm.
remember because there's not too many situations that it's been like really intense where I had a chance to see how if I was cool under pressure or not. But like after getting hit by the car, and I was kind of just laying there on the road, I was pretty chill. You know, all things considered, I was pretty chill. I was just in a lot of pain, but otherwise, I was pretty relaxed about everything. I was like answering everyone's questions, making sure like I made sure someone called 911. I remember that because like that video went through my head. It's like people always talk about how you have to designate someone to call it. So like the first person that came up to me, I told him to call 911. But I remember afterwards thinking about it, I was like I was actually pretty chill under pressure. So I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what I would be like under pressure. I feel like I'd be chill now. I mean, even though like when I was like 5 and like choking to death on that mint, like all things considered, even though I was like a little like I was kind of like panicking, like I feel like I handled it as well as I could have.
Well, you were also 5.
Yeah, and I was 5, and I think I handled it as best as I could have. I went to my Nanny Marie,
Closest adult.
the closest person to help me to save my life, and she did. So
You
thank
were
God she
definitely
was there.
you
If I
weren't. Yeah, you definitely weren't a dumb child. You definitely
no, if
realized what was happening and you got help immediately. So that was
yeah,
good.
if I had been by myself, it would have been a different story. It would have been even more scarier. I wonder what I would have done. I probably would have tried to probably have run up to the house, because I mean that was a good backup too. If she wasn't there or something for some reason, like
That would have been really terrifying having to just run
yeah,
outside to get to a different house really quick as you're mid
my grand
choking.
yeah, my grandparents were like right there as well, so just up the hill. So like literally it was just like two like like not even like 2 meters away. It was just like oh, I was like, okay, just run up the hill and then boom, okay, I'm in the backyard. Like our backyards are basically connected
Oh, that's nice.
to like my yeah, so it was obviously there's different people living there now, but it was just like so before it was like I had all that backyard if I wanted to. We had a big backyard, and then if I wanted to go down to my Nanny Marie's backyard, I could and stuff too, and had a garden there and stuff. But like that would have been super intense if I had to run up to the house and
Hmm.
go through the door or whatever, and I wouldn't be like even able to talk either. I just have to barge in and be like, like I'm dying.
Help
Um,
me! I'm
but yeah, so
dying.
thank I'm dying. But thank God, like I said, bless her soul, she saved my life, and she passed away when I was in grade 9 at the time. And
Remember that.
actually she passed away on my mom's birthday. So
What a
it's a
bad day
date
to
that
pass away on too.
we'll always remember. So yeah, that's what is goodness gracious, let me see. Yeah, it's coming up to 7 years. Wow, since she's been gone. Crazy, went by quick. I mean, if that's another, uh, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a depressing topic, but that's another thing we could talk about at some point. Is like maybe
People we
like,
lost.
yeah, if we lost a lot of,
No
have you
one.
lost a lot of,
Nobody.
no?
Pets. That's
Oh
it.
wow,
Pets.
pets, yeah,
Great
wow.
grand. I guess great grandparents, but I was never really close to my great grandparents.
Yeah, well, I could talk about it briefly on another podcast, but yeah,
I couldn't
a
put any two
few.
cents in. I don't know what
A
it's like
few.
to lose somebody yet. No, I'm not looking
Yeah, I
forward to it. I'll
mean,
tell you that.
I've handled it all pretty fairly well so far. I haven't had to lose like like very, very close, like my grandparents or like my mom or something. Like that would just be crazy. Like the closest right now is like my nan going through dementia and stuff, and it's like I know she's gonna be going like at some point.
Mhm.
Like I don't know how much longer she'll be able to hold on, and it's like I don't even know if I want her to hold on for like many more years to come because she's not living. And
Mhm.
I knew, like, I know she would hate this, like, right now, being like this. Like, she would always say, like, no, just, like, I don't want to be like that. And now she's exactly like that, and I knew she would hate it, but deep down, she still recognizes me, and she still says my grampy's name, uh, when he comes to visit, like her face lights up or whatever, or she kind of like is more talkative. Like now she's at the point where she can hardly say anything. She can't make a sentence. Like it all comes out muffled. But like every now and then, like a word like makes sense or something, right? So it's just like, oh, I'm talking with her. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, and I'm just telling her things. That's what's going on. Telling her that. Oh, that's another thing I completely forgot to touch on. I guess too that happened in my adult life. A lot of it happened just very quickly afterwards too. Like I felt like I was just stuck in place in a time like after my nan went to the nursing home. It was like I was still basically like unemployed. I, you know, was just trying to figure things out. But then I got, I was getting lots of work as an EA. Then I ended up getting my driver's license in October, and it was funny because the day I got my license was on October 4th, and that was the day that Joker released. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be a perfect day if I'm able to get my license.
Still haven't
And
watched
I
that
did.
movie,
I
by
got.
the way.
You still haven't watched it?
Nope.
We'll have to watch it at some point together. That'll be a movie we'll have to watch because it's good. Because Joker 2 is coming out this year, and it's actually coming out on the same day
Shit,
again.
really?
Yeah, October 4th.
Damn.
Yeah, I know that's wicked. They definitely did that on purpose. But I was like, oh, so it's gonna be not only is this October 4th gonna mark 1 year of me having my driver's license, but it'll be the release of hopefully another great movie. Joker 2 for I do. And but yeah, I was really pumped. I didn't think I was going to be able to pass first time, but my instructor that got me through the test, he was pretty chill, so I got lucky with that and I passed first time. And then I didn't expect to get a car so soon, but then the next month uh a guy that my mom works with was selling his old 2010 Honda Civic, and he had a really good deal for it considering the prices that other people want for used cars and stuff. And he made sure that most of it was like up to date, and he replaced even like a few things. Um, so then I was getting a little bit of driving in with that. I ended up buying that, and so now I got my license and I'm driving. And now, well, and then something happened. Like my grampy was still kind of like driving me to work because it was over the south end, and I wasn't really comfortable,
Yeah.
driving there. And then so he was still, and it was like winter time, so like sometimes the roads would be icy, and I don't have winter tires on because I'm not gonna waste money on winter tires for this car because who knows how much longer the car will last for. But yeah, so he was driving, and one day, thank God he was the one driving, because then all of a sudden we were boom, and it was like, and that's what my grandpa was like. The hell was that? I was like, I don't know. I was like, he hit something, or I was like, and and then he was like, Jesus Christ, he's like, can't even, he's like, brake anymore. He's like, he had to push all the way down on the brake pedal to like
Oh,
even
you've
like
like.
so yeah, basically, so we found out, took it to my stepdad's cousin's like workshop, car, workshop, and that's what he said. The worst thing that could have happened, and like the entire like brake just went on them. So, it was a good thing he was driving because basically I had no brakes. I
Oh
had
my
to push
god.
like right down on the pedal to like you had to push right down to the floor to like get it to stop, slow down.
Wow.
So I was like, thank God an experienced driver was driving the vehicle at the time because I probably would have been like, what the fuck do I do now? I probably would have been like, oh my God. So it kind of worked out in that sense, but then it
Google,
still kind of worked
what do
out,
you do when your brakes don't work in your car? Oh, okay. She crashes.
right? Yeah. So that's what it kind of worked out in a way though, because I mean, even though I didn't have the car for that long, I think it was like, what was it, like a couple weeks later this happened. So it was like the brakes didn't last that long, but it was kind of good that it happened because then my stepdad's cousin, he ended up replacing the entire brake pedal with a new brake pedal for me, and like had all that stuff done. And so I'm glad that that got out of the way right away because now the brake pedal feels better than ever, and it's working great so far, knock on wood. No problems with it. And the only other thing is it's just an old car. It's like one of the like tire like or like belts or whatever, like because there's a little sometimes when I'm going like dry, it can feel like a little bit of a shaking in the seat. And my stepdad said, yeah, he's like, it's just an old car. I mean, it's
Yeah.
probably from one of the tires. He's like, probably your back tires or something. And I was just like, the belt or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah. And he was like, yeah. And then
What I wanted to
one of
say
my
quickly. So you're saying that if you were to get into a car crash because your brakes failed, it because of it's already having previous problems, it wouldn't be suspicious. Hmm. It's good to know.
oh, no. And that's what, well, that's what I don't have. If I did happen, knock on wood again, hopefully that doesn't happen. But like if I did get into an accident, like the car would be gone. The car would be wrote off. Like if any damage happened to it, because I don't have any insurance to
Holy shit! Are you not driving? Are
replace.
you driving without insurance?
Oh, I do. I have the most
Oh,
basic
okay.
insurance, though.
Okay.
I have the most basic, like, just to get myself on the road, sort of
Yeah,
insurance, right?
yeah. I was sitting there thinking like, are you driving without insurance? No, that is literally
It's like I
illegal.
just admitted that I'm driving illegally, basically. But that's
Hear
what
that, officers? Pull him over so he can give him a
yeah,
nice fat ticket.
it's like no, I got the most basic insurance to get myself on the road. But if anything happened, if like if the car took any damage, it would be done. It would be garbage. And
Ah,
another reason why was because it's an old car, so it's like, why do I care? Like, I'm not gonna put a bunch of money into protecting the car when it's already old and pretty well used up and stuff. So it's like if anything happens to it, like I just won't have a car for a while again, and then hopefully at some point, maybe if I'm more comfortable with like driving to all these different places, I get like a new car instead of a used car. But for a first car, this is a nice first car for me because it's like I don't have to overly worry about, maybe like, getting a little bit of damage on it or like a little
yeah.
bump or scratch on it because it's already old. So, but yeah, it's a nice car. It's doing me well, and I mean, it already has like over like 300, right? Kilometers, like mileage on it. But like Hondas are known for their long life.
I just
So
realized you have a Honda.
yeah, I have a Civic. Why?
No, it was just a joke. I don't care. I'm not really much of a
Oh,
car guy, so it
yeah,
doesn't.
yeah, no, me neither. Me neither. That's why I was just like, oh yeah, Honda Civic doesn't matter to me. It's a car. It'll get me from point A to B. um,
If
to
I'm ever
C.
gonna have, if I ever am gonna own a car, I'm gonna do a Jeep, because those things are really what's the word? Universally good and everything.
Yeah, that's what. So yeah, it's getting me to point A to B, and I've become comfortable. I'm getting comfortable. Like I'm driving from like my mom's to my into my grandparents comfortably, and now I'm currently just starting since like last week or a couple weeks ago. I started driving myself to work now in the mornings and back, and well, because before I was a little sketched on like parking.
Mm.
Still not completely like part because I'm like always thinking, oh, am I gonna go over the line slightly or whatnot? And sometimes I do a little bit, and I just gotta straighten it out a little bit. But sometimes I feel like I kind of like having the cars right beside me because it gives me more of like a reference of like, okay, how much do I need to straighten out? Whereas if there's no cars and I'm trying to pull into one spot, I could easily maybe go over into the next spot a little bit accidentally because I don't have a reference to how much I need to straighten out. But yeah, I mean, knock on wood again, I've been doing fine with that. It's been well, and it's saving me personally money on gas instead of my grampy taking me to work and then have to come back and get me because he's basically doing like 4 round trips by doing that. So that's a lot of gas of my gas he's using up that I have to, refill. So this way I'm saving myself on gas as well, on gas money. So yeah, but it's been good.
On that note, I think we should wrap things
Yeah,
up here.
it's so I did a lot of I've accomplished a lot of big goals so far in my adult life, which I'm proud of because it's for a second there I didn't know how how I would make out, but everybody works on their own timeline, right? So
Yep. And I'm
but with
currently
that
still
note, yeah,
trying
we're
to
gonna
accomplish goals.
yeah, exactly. And we're still learning things, trying to figure out adult life, and just we're gonna just keep moving forward.
Yeah,
And on
I'm
that
not
note,
sure
that
if
was our
I'm not sure if we hold on real quickly. I'm not sure if we pointed out we're both Gen Z, if that matters to anybody.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
one of the
we're
older
young.
Gen Z
We're still,
technically.
yeah, we're still youthful. But yeah, on that note, this was our first premiere episode of School Night,
Mm,
talking about our life and near death experiences. And if there's anybody else who is like just started adulthood or wants to get things off their chest or wants to talk about their near death experiences that they might have had, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to chat with you and interact with this audience that hopefully will build up soon. But I'll pass it over to Nate and
yeah.
let
Yeah.
him close us out.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this our first premiere episode. Hope it was anything too boring. Hope you everything was kind of a little interesting to you guys. Well, next episode we're going to be talking about something that we can really get in depth to. We always get in depth talking about this. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to say what it is, but it has to do one of our both of our one of our both of our favorite things, I should say. But I'll leave it
Yeah,
off at that because we
should
could
we?
really get in
Yeah,
depth and talk about it so a lot. So
it's gonna be a fun one to talk
yeah,
about, and I'm sure a lot of
I'm looking
people.
forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too, and I'm sure a lot of people out there, you will also enjoy it very much, and I'm sure a lot of people, once they find out what it's going to be about, will have a lot to contribute to the conversation as well. So, yeah, I've been Noah Mellis.
on, I'm not done yet. I want to
Oh,
say,
oh, Nate's still going. Nate's still
yeah,
going. Okay,
I
so
wanted to
go for it,
say
Nate.
to the people out there, if you've made it this far in the video, comment a car brand in the comments. Any car brand, doesn't matter. Just comment a car brand. Toyota,
What's your
Honda.
Yeah, if yes, if you've yeah, it doesn't matter. It could be your favorite car brand, but that
Yeah, the
lets
one you
us
hate
know
the
that you
most.
made it.
Could be the car brand you hate the
Yeah,
most.
yeah, that lets us know that you made it this far into the podcast, and that lets us know whether or not, we gotta uh shorten it up some, or like I'm sure next podcast as well will probably be a little lengthy one because we'll have lots to
Yeah.
talk about. But yeah, just let us know what you thought of the first podcast. What do you think we could improve on? What do you want to see maybe us talk about in the future? Anything like that, let us know. Put it down in the comments, and yeah, we'll try it out.
Well,
Yeah. So
I'm Nate, and this is my co-host.
Noah, and it's been a pleasure to. I know it took me a second to hop in there, but Noah, I'm Noah, and it's
Are
been
you
a
sure?
pleasure
I
to.
don't think he's Noah, guys. I don't think he's Noah. I think he's an imposter.
No, that's an imposter. I
Yeah.
don't know. I hate that guy. But yeah, that's it. It's been a pleasure doing this first episode, and I'm excited for the future of school night.
Oh my, a lot of different things, a lot of different topics we can talk about coming up. We'll definitely get more in depth with these videos as it comes along with what's what I'm trying to say when summer comes, because we'll both have summer
Yeah,
off, so
we'll
we'll have
have more free
plenty of free
time.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll think of different things we'll do,
So
but right now this we're just gonna be keep doing this.
yeah, I think this is a good start, a good starting point,
Yep.
a launching point. So yeah, so thank you all once again, and
Yep.
this has been school night.
Good one, everybody. Bye.
See ya.